Hello everyone, my name is Manuel Resinas and together with Adela del Rio, we are going to present this teaser of the tutorial on process performance management we are going to deliver at CAiSE. We are looking forward to the live session of the tutorial, but in the meantime, in this teaser, we are going to introduce some of the concepts that we will detail there, and also we are going to outline some of the questions that we intend to answer during the live session. So to begin with, we are going to learn what process performance management is. Nowadays, most organizations are interested in continuously improving their performance in order to be more competitive and succeed in their endeavors. To this end, process performance management aims at assessing the achievement of strategic and operational goals and support this decision-making for the continuous optimization of business processes. So basically, process performance management has like twofold goal. On the one hand, it intends to evaluate whether the processes are being executed in a successful way, attending to some performance goals. And on the other hand, it also aims at supporting the optimization of such processes in order to improve their performance. There are many process performance management methodologies like Lean Management or Six Sigma that can help in this task. However, it's not our goal in this tutorial to discuss them in detail or compare them. Instead, we want to focus on some process performance management activities that most of these methodologies have in common. These activities can be outlined in these 5 elements. The first one is performance planning. It involves defining performance goals, which are a set of expectations of the performance of the process. These performance goals should be defined based on the strategic and operational goals of the organization. And they are usually materialized as a set of indicators with their associated target values. So the output of this task is this set of indicators obtained from these strategic and operational goals. In the second activity, that involves gathering data and observing and documenting the process. The goal of this activity is to evaluate these indicators obtained in the performance planning activity, and also to gather additional information that can be useful for diagnosing the performance and try to find out which are the problems that cause barriers in the performance goals defined in the performance planning activity. Performance diagnosis is the activity that analyzes the evaluated indicators and the additional information gathered in the previous activity and aims at obtaining weaknesses and areas for improvement in the business processes at hand. Performance improving involves designing and implementing an action plan to address and remove the barriers to performance that have been identified in the performance diagnosis. For instance, we may want to redesign a part of the process to use resources more efficiently or to implement a new information system to improve the support of the process. Finally, in the action and follow-up activity, we actually execute the improved process, and we also assess whether the action plan defined in the previous activity is being followed or not. So the result of this activity are conclusions on whether the performance of the process has improved, and also about whether the plan is being executed appropriately. This tutorial will offer the participants the opportunity to get to know a set of guidelines and techniques for some of these activities. And these techniques and guidelines are based on existing well-grounded literature from both academic and industrial researchers.
Furthermore, while doing so, we intend to address the following questions. As Manuel have just said, while addressing the performance planning activity, we need to define a set of performance indicators. In general, there exist some well-known indicators commonly used in many companies to control and improve their performance. Some examples are the cycle time, the operational cost, the resource utilization, or the fault rate. These indicators can be defined and measured in any scenario. However, depending on the specific context and environment where a business runs, the following question can be raised. Is there a predefined set of indicators that can be used to manage the performance in any scenario? Or would it be desirable or even necessary to add to these common indicators some other more customized? The following question is related to the current state of practice regarding the definition of indicators. In organizational settings, usually we can find either a quite informal definition of indicators collected in some kind of format like style sheets, for instance, or their definition where their implementation is actually described. Let's say SQL queries to gather information from a database. This poses an important problem because we need to go from those informal definitions closer to the business and their idea to improve the performance, but usually lacking important information and precision, and we need to go to translate them into lower level definitions and their current implementation where the information that need to be gathered in order to compute the values has to be present. So here the question is, how can indicators be modeled to make this management easier? Then, usually when we talk about visualization in the context of performance, we usually think of dashboards. That's the first idea that comes to our mind. They are typically used for monitoring and controlling the performance. However, can one use the same visualizations for performance diagnosis and process monitoring, or are there specific or different requirements that need to be taken into account? Then also related to the performance improving activity, as we also said before, an action plan needs to be defined and implemented. There is a number of well-known redesign heuristics that can serve this purpose. However, most of them are only applicable in the context of structured business processes, where their behavior is non-a priori or predefined. But what happens then with knowledge-intensive processes where knowledge workers perform their activities in a knowledge-intensive and decision-making tasks in an interrelated way? How can performance improvement be implemented in knowledge-intensive processes? And finally, the implementation of process performance management strategy in any organization is closely related to its information systems, since they should provide mechanisms to support the aforementioned activities. So here the question would be, what are the implications of process performance management in the design of information systems? Answers to these questions and more details will be presented in our live tutorial at CAiSE. It will be on Wednesday, June 10th at 11:30. Don't miss it. We will be waiting for you.